Welcome back. Now we're going to be talking about the drivability of the Outlander PHEV. We're going to go for a little test spin just around the corner. Talk about some of the features that I like about it. One of the things I like is that this feature has a function called auto hold. And what that does is when you come up to a stoplight, you don't need to keep your foot depressed on the brake. You can just actually, once the auto hold light goes on, let your foot off the brake, and you can relax, especially if you're in traffic jams or tootling along or coming up to a long light. I use it a lot. It's also handy on hills. When you have the auto hold on, you can start and stop the vehicle on a hill, and the car won't roll on you, which I find is a really nice feature. The other thing I really am impressed with is the all-wheel drive. I drove this vehicle up from Florida last February and March, and I came to a snowstorm in Pennsylvania that was unbelievable. And I didn't put snow tires on the car before I left. It had new all-season radials. But when I hit the Pennsylvania into the mountains, it's a pretty windy road. The four-wheel drive I put on, and this vehicle went through that snow like it was butter. It was incredible. I felt secure all the way, so I didn't have any problems reaching my destination. There's some things that I do differently when I'm driving in electric mode. There's a little trick that I learned, and I haven't seen this in any manual. If I'm doing a short trip, if you get into the car and start it, put your foot on the brake, and then hit the start button, the car will start up. But it goes through a sequence of going into charge mode. It goes into a couple of other modes, and it takes a few minutes for that to happen. So if you're going to the corner store to get a little bit of milk or something, you're probably in gas mode. So here's a little tip that I'm going to give you. When you start the car, you press the power button twice, which puts you into auxiliary mode. Then hit the EV mode, then depress the brakes, and then hit the power mode. That way you will be starting in EV mode from beginning till end. It won't go into any of the other cycles. I found that helpful because a lot of times I'm just doing a short run and I don't want to spend any gas doing that. So that's kind of a nice tip. The other tip I'm going to give you in the drivability system is hands-free. Gotta love it. The other thing I really like when I'm driving is when I'm driving on the highway, I always go to save mode. And let me explain why I go to save mode. Save mode saves all your electric power, so when you're driving on the highway, you're going to get the maximum horsepower of your electric and gas motors if you get into trouble. I mean, literally, when you're on a long trip, you're going to get 40 kilometers in electric. That's not going to matter for much. But if you save that power for the times you need it when you're on the highway, trust me, you will thank me for that because it'll get you out of trouble every time. Because then you're almost at 200 horsepower. And at 200 horsepower, you can really get out of a lot of tight situations. So the all-wheel drive is phenomenal. Drive it in save mode when you're on the highway. Go to EV mode with my little trick when you start. Charge mode. I haven't used charge mode a lot, although I'm starting to use it. So if I'm going out on a semi-short distance, for example, when we go to the flying field, you saw the planes in the back there. When I go to the flying field, I can get to the flying field. This is about 40 or 40 some odd kilometers. I can get there on a single charge, but I can't get back. What I have been doing is putting on charge mode when I leave, and then when I calculate the kilometers to get home, I go into whatever charge has been put into my batteries, and I am looking to see if that's going to make a big difference rather than just going into direct motor mode. Don't know the answer to that yet, but I'm working on it. I really do like this vehicle. I'm so impressed with the comfort. Obviously, you can hear how quiet it is. And even when it's in charge mode, in other words, the gas motor isn't running the wheels, it's still very quiet because the charging motor it's at a very low revs and it's very hard to hear. So on long trips, it's a quiet and comfortable ride all the way there. You saw that there's lots of space in the back. I had all my toys in there, and I had a good time. So all in all, I really do like the vehicle. In part one, we talked about some of the things I didn't like and some of the things I did like. But as far as drivability goes, this is one of the best vehicles I think I've ever driven in, and I've had a few in my life. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this this video on the Outlander PHEV. I know I enjoy it. There's still grants available for this car, but because of the tightening budgets in Canada, if there is a grant, you may want to get into it sooner rather than later. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and we'll see you next time at Emerald Meadows. Bye-bye for now.